What's going on? What are you guys doing? You mind if I come out and maybe join you or something?
Come on out. Y'all want Eminem to come on out?
Y'all want Eminem on today's show?
Why not? Eminem, come on out. Come on, baby. Get over here.
Eminem, ladies and gentlemen, grab a seat, put on your seat belt, because trust me, it's about to go down on today's show, man. And what's good, man?
Everything's good. It's good.
Can I speak for the ladies right now? Em, you look hot. You look good.
Making me blush already.
You look good. I mean, you have all reasons to blush because, number one, you look good. Number two, you're number one right now as far as your album concerns. And number three, you're number one in the UK as well. So congratulations. How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you. It feels great. I mean, I'm just, you know, I'm glad to be back. You look beautiful too, by the way.
So compare, y'all. He just knows how to make me blush. But you know what? If you guys have questions to make Eminem blush or just questions at all, you can hit us up on Twitter right now and ask us what you want us to ask Eminem. All right, Twitter?
Y'all can see we have the biggest rap artist in the world. Eminem is on 106 & Park. He has 6 solo albums in stores. Relapse is his newest album, and it's #1 in the world. But Em, you got money, you got success. You're oftentimes called the greatest. At this point in your career, what do record sales mean to you? Because you sold over 600,000 copies of this new record in this past week. Give that a round of applause. At this point in your career, what do record sales mean to you?
I mean, record sales, honestly, I mean, since the beginning of my career, I've kind of always said, like, they're not as important to me as, you know, like the respect and things like that. You know what I mean? So I would just rather rap to get respect from the fans and my peers and things like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I don't want to sell any records. You know what I mean? But, you know, at the same time, it's like that's kind of, you know, not my main priority. Yeah.
Well, one thing that hasn't changed from the beginning is, of course, you like to poke fun and make fun of some people in the pop culture. Y'all seen We Made You. Hilarious video, by the way, hilarious. But we know it's all in fun. It's all in fun. But is there anybody in the pop culture that actually really does upset you a little bit?
Probably everybody in the pop culture. But, nah, I mean, honestly, you know, like I've said before, it's not really just, it's not personal attacks against people that are, you know what I mean? Like, I really, when I'm saying your name in a rap and if you happen to rhyme or something that I think is funny at that time, it's not like a personal attack on your being. Sometimes.
What about those people that do take it as a personal vendetta from you and you're just like, it's a back and forth thing?
Nah, you know, I kind of like what Kim Kardashian said, like the way she took it. You know what I mean? Because I think she for the most part, she gets it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not that big of a deal. It's a song, you know, and it is what it is.
So when people like Nick Cannon respond, is that just, do you care? Or?
I mean, honestly, I've, you know, I said what I wanted to say. He said what he wanted to say, and you know, that is what it is too.
No doubt, it is what it is. So look, what we're going to do right now is jump into the video. Look, everything you want to know about Eminem, we're going to find out on today's show. Our first guest on today's show, big show today, but we got Eminem in the building right now. His album is called Relapse, and it's in stores right now. Something you got to check out, right?
Something that you guys are going to be able to check out real soon on BET is recently you did an interview with Big Tigger. And during that interview, you said and mentioned that at one point in your life, you were kind of uncomfortable with your fame. You're in a dark space with that. Can you tell us what it was like?
Well, I mean, there was a point in time that I think, like, during the Encore record, like when I was making that record, it was kind of like I was still trying to, like, fame wasn't new to me, but it was at a point where I just felt kind of like lost, and like I guess the balance between trying to be famous and trying to be a regular person. Like, I started losing that, you know what I mean, as well as, you know, an addiction to some pretty serious prescription drugs, you know. So at that, I think a combination of that just made it even worse, you know.
But you see yourself as a pretty ordinary person. You don't really consider yourself famous when you go out. You like to think of yourself, and you like to think your fans think as you're a regular guy, right? Yeah, I mean, I would think that. I would hope that, you know, people get that vibe from me. You know what I mean? I'm pretty freaking awesome. I would say so too.
For the most part, I feel like, you know, I'm just me. You know?
What makes you freaking awesome? What makes Eminem freaking awesome?
My new CD.
Oh God.
And if
The Relapse in stores right now.
and if you act now, for a limited time, you can get this beautiful collage of my face made out of my delicious lunch. No, I'm kidding.
No doubt. Now, you mentioned the drug addiction, and we're going to talk about that in more detail a little bit later on the show. But you really went into detail on that in the Vibe magazine article. Talked about a lot of things. Asher Roth was one of those things. What do you think about him and the new school of rappers that are coming out?
Well, I like Asher, man. I think Asher's dope. You know, I like Kid Cudi, and B.O.B. is crazy. Like, that dude, like, I've said a few things about him publicly, too, because that dude is like, you know, he can rap, he can sing, he can, you know, he makes his own beats, he can play guitar, he can play the keyboard. We actually recently worked together a couple of months ago in Detroit, and I was like, do you dance too? You know what I mean? Like, what don't you do? Because, you know, I think he's like 20 years old, and the dude is like crazy talented, especially for his age, you know what I mean?
So with B.O.B. and Drake and all of these new youngsters, Wale and all these guys, you think hip-hop is in good hands?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hip-hop is in a good place right now, you know, and, you know, Red and Meth are back, and I'm happy about that, so.
90s time, let's go.
He's very hot. How do you think you influence these newer MCs? How do you think you influence the newer MCs that are coming out?
How do I think I influence? Because I'm pretty freaking awesome.
The freaking awesome. You know what?
We can get T-shirts made with that. Have you already got the T-shirts made with that? I like that.
Yeah, I've got
pretty
them,
freaking awesome.
They come with
Where's
this
Paul Rosenberg?
CD for a limited time. If you act now, you can. No, go ahead.
You look crazy. You're real crazy. One thing that we're going to do is have more with Eminem in just a little bit. Don't forget, we got a lot of questions for him. So keep it locked right here and send us your Twitter questions. You know what it is. It's 106 in Park, because we're freaking awesome, okay? To 106 in Park. Right now, it is all about the man right here to my side. Eminem is in the building, and that was a clip from the last time you were here on 106. Tell us what comes across your mind when you see that.
Kids don't do drugs.
Were you on drugs?
What was going on at that time?
Yes, I was just a wee bit under the influence on that particular clip.
Well, one thing for sure is we're glad that you can even discuss it so openly, because that by itself is something personal, and you're able to open up to your fans about the addiction. Yeah. Tell us about that dark period in your life.
Well, the crazy part about that clip, and I don't know if people believe me when I say this, but I don't remember being here. Like, I literally have no recollection of actually doing the show. I remember going home and watching it, but I just don't remember being here. But that's kind of, like, at that point, at that particular time, is kind of where I was at, so.
How do you think things got so bad for you?
I don't know. I mean, if I had to, like, try to mark a time period or whatever and try to figure out, like, where it actually went, I can't, it's hard for me to try to figure out where it went from recreation to a full-blown problem, you know, but, I mean, I think that it was a problem when I went to rehab in 2005, and, you know, I came out, and I wasn't really taking rehab serious, and I came out, I relapsed, and then, you know, the proof thing happened, and then I kind of just went way overboard. Yeah, I just kind of lost it.
How would you describe yourself as a person while you were on the drugs, and how do you describe the relationship you had with other people, from your family, your friends, even your label mates?
Well, I was extremely distant, you know. I didn't really talk to nobody. I kind of just went off and just did my own thing, you know what I mean? I'd go home and shut the door, or I'd just go off into a bathroom somewhere, you know, pop a couple of pills and then be okay. And then but you know, I was a functioning addict, so I was kind of the worst, an addict of the worst kind. So nobody really knew what was going on. I think just people around me saw, like, something ain't right. You know what I mean?
When we talk about the people that are around you, we know that you, Dr. Dre, and 50 Cent are really close friends, and they're also your business partners. What were they? What was their whole perception of what was going on with you? Did they know that you had an addiction problem, or? I
think that you know, when I talked to 50 and Dre about it, I think that they felt like something wasn't right, but they didn't quite know at that time. You know what I mean? I hit it really well. So
was it kind of, because I'm sure that must have been hard for them to kind of even approach you on that, because that's something different.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have actually said anything at that point in time anyways, and I don't think anybody really could, you know. It was kind of a thing that I had to come to the realization of. So.
Well, you've been clean for a year, and that by itself is an accomplishment. Congratulations on that. How did it take you to get to that point, or what did it take for you to ultimately get to that point where you said, I'm clean, I'm getting clean?
Well, I had a pretty pretty bad experience, like not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. And you know, when I did the Vibe article, I kind of just came out and told everything, but I actually overdosed on methadone, which I didn't even know what I was taking at the time. I didn't know it was methadone. Had a near-death experience where I literally almost died, and then came out the hospital, and about a month later relapsed again. And that's how I knew, like, this is a disease. You know what I mean? This isn't like, this is not nothing to do with willpower. Like, willpower is like, I don't want that piece of cake over there. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna eat it. This is a different thing. And I had to come to the realization that, you know, when I was ready to face it, like, I'm an addict. You know what I mean? Then, you know, I was ready to get clean. I think that it was overall, it was like the overdose, and then when I relapsed, I kind of shot back up to the same point with the drugs that I was already at, and it just scared me. So I just went to some friends who was just like, yo, I got a problem, I need help.
Who were those friends?
Well, I'm not gonna say who those friends were. It was just people in my circle. You know what I mean? Just people that I trust. But
that's understandable. Well, we appreciate you being so candid. We're gonna talk more about the situation, but right.
In the building, we are celebrating his brand new album that is out in stores right now. It is called The Relapse. You have to go get it.
And with that said, like I said, we appreciate you being candid. He has an interview in Vibe magazine that's incredible. Make sure you read that. But right now, we about to have fun. Let's celebrate this album. The record's in stores. Let's go in. We got Em in the building, baby.
All right. And you brought some friends with you.
yes, I brought some friends with me.
You got 8 friends with you.
You
have a friend with you.
I have a friend with me.
That's
yes.
behind the stage right now.
Yes.
Who would love to come out and say hi to everybody right now. Because can you introduce?
Should we bring them out?
Yeah, bring them out.
Bring
them out.
I mean, if y'all want us to bring out a surprise for y'all or what?
Okay, well, let's bring 50 out then.
Right now, it's about to get crazy.
No doubt. So 50, this is your friend, this is your label man. How does it feel to see Eminem back 100% on his Grizzly? How does it feel?
I mean, it feels real good. You know, I don't even have to like finish a sentence this time. You know, this time it's the relapse, baby. We here. It's going down.
The two of you and Dre were on the cover of XXL magazine. Of course, everybody describes you as such a powerful dynasty. Do you guys see that as right now, or do you think the moment has changed?
I think we absolutely in a great space, you know, considering his project is where it's at, #1, and it's working. You know, I mean, like, until they find, you know, a collaboration of artists that work as well as we do together, I don't think that we got issues.
What do you think is so special about you three together? What happens? What is those studio sessions like?
I think that one of the most important portions of our relationship is us understanding our positions. See, I'm like King Kong when I'm by myself. And then when I come back, when we come together, I'm actually the smallest person in our circle. So, like, I get a chance to be down to earth because I got them to so. Did anybody notice Eminem sold like over like 100 million records? Like,
yeah. It's crazy.
Did anybody notice that?
You said that was going to happen.
Wait, 50.
No,
if you're King Kong, then Eminem, who are you when you walk into the room? He said God.
He said God.
Godzilla? Maybe Godzilla.
You're Godzilla?
I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that the best thing about the combination with me and 50 and Dre is that, you know, we take criticism from each other. We listen to input, you know what I mean? And we're always trying to do better, you know? So.
No doubt. And now that Relapse in stores, are we going to get before our self-destruct?
Yeah, before our self-destruct.
And is Detox going to come out? Are we going to get the Detox record from Dre?
I heard like 8 records, but there's 10, right?
Yeah, there's probably 10 records.
Yeah, there's 10.
All right, so Eminem's back. It's a trickle effect. 50's back. Dre is back. And we will be back right after this commercial break. Keep it locked.
Relapse. Everybody in the audience has a copy. How about that? Bring them out. Love it. So M is in the building. And 50 is here. And we're going to play a little game. It's called I Am. All right, it's a little exercise. We have a whole bunch of sentences back here that are going to show up. It's going to be a loop. And whenever you say stop, you just finish off the sentence. All right, ready? So let's start it right now.
Whenever I say stop, stop.
I am at my best when
I'm sitting next to you guys talking and I'm not looking like I looked the last time I was on the show.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
On that. Let's roll it again. Let's roll it again. You gotta say stop again. No?
Stop.
I am surprised by.
I'm not surprised by my awesomeness, but no, I don't know. I'm not surprised by.
Can you finish that, 50?
I'm surprised by it's such a great response to the new album. Relapse in stores right now.
600,000 in 1 week. I'd be surprised too. Let's hold it one more time.
Stop.
I am focused on
making money.
Amen to that as well. You am?
Roxy's beauty.
And your blue eyes, baby. Your blue eyes. We got a lot more going on, but right now let's concentrate and
Better
focus
than
on
Terrence. I'd rather you be focused on Roxy than Terrence.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. Let's get into. You guys do this, and we're gonna do this right here. You're gonna go ahead and introduce your next video.
This is the number 6 video we made you.
How about that?
Yeah, that's one of the many records on the album, Relapse. Make sure to get it. It's in stores right now. We're going to talk about some of your other records. One of my favorite is when we talk about your mom. Talk about that, because you have a different understanding for her after the things that you went through.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things that I said and that I realized is, I mean, at the end of the day, she's my mother, and I love her because she's my mother. I mean, even though we don't really speak, you know what I mean? She is my mother. I do love her, and I think I got a better understanding of what she was going through or what she may be going through. You know what I mean? Now that when I see myself and how I actually became, you know what I mean? I think there's a little compassion factor that goes with that. So.
When was the last time you talked?
It's probably been a couple of years, probably about 3, maybe 4 years, something like that.
Got you. Let's talk about another record, Insane, because I was listening to that before I came in.
It's crazy.
It is great. Well, hold on. What do you think when you hear some of the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth?
Yeah, I feel like he's the best rapper, to be honest with you. And, I really feel that way because he possesses the ability to say things that aren't supposed to be cool. Like he'll get raped on the record.
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, that was hot. Rewind that. Let's play that again.
So it's
all
not
the things that you probably would feel bad for laughing at, are on this record.
Because
you know what I mean?
Fifth, I felt real bad when I was laughing at the Christopher Reeves thing.
Yeah, it's like, why is that?
I felt really bad. So I'm not the only one.
And I hear it early. I hear when he does the first time he playing it. Look, check out this idea. And I'm like, if you know how you got an artist, you respect the artist, and you say, if I said that, it wouldn't work.
No, you couldn't say some of the things.
No. Those things that he said, if I said the same thing, it wouldn't work. But it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be #1. It is the Relapse, and this is Eminem.
Because it's M.
And it's just from his perspective, when he actually gets ready to do it, it goes kaboom. That's what's artistically exciting to me, because I go, we're so different as artists, and I can listen to his material and be inspired in a different way, and I'll write something that from another perspective because I had the opportunity to hear what he's doing.
No doubt.
Like, y'all just heard this. If you ain't got it, you need to go get it, the Relapse, but I've been listening to it.
But it's okay to feel bad when you laughed, because that means that it worked. So
I feel better now. Eminem is co-signing. Look, the album is incredible. So many tracks. I can't even talk about them all. Crack a Bottle, Deja Vu, 3 a.m. So many hot tracks. Make sure you go check out the record to see what we're talking about. Paul Rosenberg said you got to go. So, Em, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
I think I can say this on behalf of all of your fans. You have so many artists that hide the things that you're going through. So we appreciate you being open and being candid and you being transparent. Like I said, there's so many good articles about him in stores right now. We appreciate you coming on the show and talking to our fans the way you did. We really do.
Well, thanks, homie. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Eminem, 50 Cent, Relapse in stores.